solar stocks. Holy shit. Did you see that? How hammered they got?
They took a dive. All the greenies are upset, Frank. I hate to see that. I don't know if the world's coming to an end tonight or tomorrow. I'll take the over on that. Yeah, boy, that's a lot of pain there, Frank.
Yeah.
What could possibly be behind that? Oh, I know. There's a big, beautiful bill going on. And that's my handoff there. Big, beautiful bill, Frank. The House passed it, made everybody happy. Just kidding. The Senate says, nope, we don't like this, not cutting enough. So essentially, and I'm paraphrasing here, the House had phase outs for EV credits. And so, Frank, are you showing any
propose a full phase out of solar and wind energy tax credits by 2028, which is right around the corner.
Right. And that's much faster than the House version of the bill. And there's also a lot of other changes that are basically just cutting off these credits. And we're talking $7,500 to buy an EV, depending on how much you make. We're talking about a certain percentage, a very high percentage, being covered on solar panels. I've seen anywhere from 30 to 60%. And really what happened here is, Frank, if you pull up so we got TAN, T-A-N is the ETF, and it holds Sunrun, First Solar, SolarEdge,
this
and
crashed
Enphase
10%.
Energy.
Yeah, 10%
and all of these guys have just absolutely fallen off a cliff. And it's because these government subsidies could get cut and get cut rather quickly. Now, the problem here, and the reason you're seeing such a dive off, and if you look at any of these stocks on an individual basis, you'll see this sell off and then you'll probably see a rally. And that was during the first, hey, what's the House going to say about all these EV credits? They were really worried about how bad the cuts would be because remember, Doge had a lot more momentum then. We were actually going to get our fiscal loss in order, balance the budget and all that kind of stuff. Then you see those stocks all kind of rally higher because they thought, hey, the phase out and cuts aren't going to be anywhere near drastic. Now the Senate gets it and takes a chopping block. But if you look at this, Frank, First Solar, Enphase Energy, Sunrun, all have, and I'm painting with a broad brush here, but between 20 and 50 to 60% of their revenue comes from these government subsidies. So if you're wondering, going, hey man, what's going on here? This is why. If you actually cut any of those subsidies, you would wipe out a vast majority or a good chunk of their total addressable market or customer base. So that's why. How do you play this from here? These are great tradable opportunities. I think if they sell off or kind of go sideways for a moment, you could probably play it for a bounce on any kind of a headline saying, hey, it's not going to be as bad, or we'll kind of fund to a happy medium between the Senate and the House and we'll phase them out over a different time period. You could see that. However, I would completely avoid these. I'll keep my personal opinions as much as I can out of this. I'm not a big fan of all these government subsidies. You guys know that. I like to have fun with it. But if you really want exposure to a sector in energy that works, buy oil and gas companies like we talked about yesterday.
You're looking at Enphase list 22%, for Solar Plunge 18%. Sunrun and SolarEdge got decimated. I mean, they crashed 40%. And this was a couple days ago. And it just highlights the risks when your profits are based on the government. And I always say this, if you're going into a mining stock and people want to buy, especially uranium now with Africa, and they have, lots of, Africa is high grade uranium. I'm like, stay the hell away from it as much as you can. I mean, when you could buy Cameco here, you could buy UEC, when you could buy a lot of, US based, you want to buy these companies in mine friendly jurisdictions, because when they do start making money and things go better, the government, and remember, those are different regimes that take place. And one of those times over the 10 years or 15 years, how long it takes to build these mines. GoVX has been saying that. I told you that company's a big freaking fraud. Those guys have made a fortune off of investors and diluted the shit out of that stock. That's a zero, in my opinion. That's a garbage stock, and the management team as well. I don't care who they are. I know they're very higher ups and stuff like that. I don't care. I'm just telling you from an investment point of view what they've been telling you for the past 15 years. They're going to develop it, and now they're having trouble because the government in Africa is like, hey, you know what? They're trying to change the rules, and that's what they do. So, same here. When you have a government that comes in like Trump, right? They change the rules. Now these companies, I won't say they can't survive. Some of them are not going to survive, but they need those energy tax credits. Otherwise, they're going to get annihilated. So it's so tough. Even the carbon credits, I've seen people get crushed on those. I got crushed. I've never invested in anything like that again. It's a waste of money. And when I see an industry like this get hammered, I'm not saying, hey, go in and go, it's a buying opportunity, because it seemed like a buying opportunity every single time these guys got hammered. But if you really do your research, look at the ones that don't need those energy tax credits, that actually make money in it, they have profitable margins and stuff like that. Without the tax credits, those are going to be the survivors, and the ones that are lost are going to lose that business. And maybe those are the ones you want to play it. But just be careful when you're seeing that percent. What was the percentage of profits you said? Was it First Solar?
They range from those ones First Solar, In-Phase Energy, Sunrun, anywhere from 20 to 60. That's on the low and high end. But
That's insane.
just assume
Yeah, that's
30
insane.
to 40% on all of them. And real quickly here on the tax credits, think of how Florida stupid this is. The government made up an idea that says, hey, out of nothing, we create a tax credit. And that means that if you do this and this, you can claim that you're saving the world and we'll reward you for it. Companies like Tesla and other First Solars and those, they can actually take these fairy tale pieces of paper and sell them to other companies, Frank, and make money. And that's how a lot of these guys make money. It's absolutely hilarious. I'm trying not to bash it anymore because it is goofy. It's the world we live in. I know a lot of people made a lot of money. You can say, Daniel at CurzioResearch.com, hey, this is going to kill 250,000 jobs because that's what we like to tout on the solar side. Well, I hate to see people lose their jobs. However, if it was manufactured under stupid pretense, false credits and all this kind of stuff anyway, then you know what? Those 250,000 people can probably find other jobs. I know that's not easy, but don't say, oh, you have to make up these tax credits for employment. That's beyond a lazy argument. But tax credits are just hilarious in general.
I would be avoiding this sector unless you're really digging in and doing some research on it. Maybe some of these do bounce off these lows, but not good. I think you'll really love Wall Street Unplugged Premium. The Wall Street Unplugged Premium is my members-only podcast where I dive even deeper into this week's events. I'll tell you specifically what moves you can make today, specific investment ideas I'm recommending and tracking each week, also the news we're picking up from our network of insiders. And becoming a member is super simple and super cheap. So head on over to WSUoffer.com to check it all out. Sign up today and you won't miss a thing. That's WSUoffer.com.